Hey guys, it's ANicWin, also known as Amy, and happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a lovely day. This is an apartment renovation here in San Myshuno. It's a one bedroom, one bathroom unit that I am imagining is for a single young adult male who is a criminal, or well, in the criminal career at least. So I've given him an office up here at the top left hand corner, but it's gonna be kind of like a hideaway office. So I use the door that looks like a bookshelf on one side because, well, why would I not? But I also give him another office, kind of like a shell of an office right outside the door. So I decided it was necessary for part of his like cover story, but if you don't need two offices, and technically who does, you can always swap that out for something else if you want to download this apartment and you don't want to keep that. So we jump right into the bathroom here, and I knew I was going to use that seasoned shower, so I went ahead and just made the bathroom in this corner here with the two large windows that connect. That shower really doesn't make sense to me unless you put it in a bathroom that has a ton of windows, because why else would you have that much glass? Maybe that's weird. I don't know. I think they all have three-sided glass showers, but that one in particular just looks like it's screaming to be in a really bright, open bathroom. That could just be me though. But I placed everything down. This is sort of like a cooler toned bathroom. Well, that's not even true. I use a lot of creams, which is a warm tone, but it's not as white and bright as I normally make, and it's also not super, super dark. I liked it. I like the color scheme quite a bit. Then we jump here into the master bedroom. I decided not to use the industrial loft bed. I am using quite a bit of the Industrial Loft Kit as we move throughout the apartment. I'm doing that because it's still new to me. I haven't explored everything that it has, but I don't want to tag this lot as an industrial loft because it's not. It's not a loft, and I wasn't comfortable with that like sort of box that title would put me in. I just wanted to explore the kit a little bit but still keep my options open. So just know you will see quite a bit of it, but it's really just for my own my own practice, I guess. So I gave him a dresser here. I did the one from Tiny Living because it's the only one small enough. None of the wood swatches matched the bed, so I just went ahead and picked one that I liked the most. I decided to go for that kind of blue color scheme with the orangey wood tones. I think it's the only time, at least in this half of the apartment, that you're going to see the orangey wood tones pop out, but you do see quite a bit of it in the living space, so I felt comfortable making that decision. I also wanted to kind of make this look a little bit staged. I don't think he spends a lot of time here. I think this is just his sort of home base. Like if he needs a place to be, if he needs an alibi or something, he's got this spot, but really he's on the road so much that this is really just for show. So you'll notice a lack of personal clutter. That's kind of what went behind that decision. That's what I was trying to emulate, at least. Whether or not I succeeded, you'll have to let me know. And then this is the desk or the office area that's really just for show. So I've really staged this to make it look like it's a workspace that might be productive. I actually kind of like it, to be honest. Like I would work here and be completely productive. I think it's a nice space. And I like that the secret door is a bookshelf because it really does lend itself to being off of an office. It doesn't look suspicious in my opinion. Now, who knows if I was a sim, if I'd be like, something's up. But, from the outside looking in, it looks nice. It looks like a nice space to sit and, be creative or be productive or whatever the case may be. Again, you're seeing quite a bit of that industrial kit coming through, but I used a lot of Moschino. I used Snowy Escape. I think I used a little bit of every pack, and that just speaks for how, blendable and things these packs are. The Sims 4 packs really do work well together. A few of the earlier ones are a little too different, like Luxury Party stuff is just hard to use. And there's a few others that you would only use in specific, circumstances. But for the most part, I think it's pretty easy to get creative with what you have, and you can use multiple styles in each pack to create different vibes for different places. So I've really been enjoying that, and I think the Industrial Loft Kit does play into that as well. I'm still a little bit on the fence about how I feel about it in general. Just, there are multiple sides to the argument, but it does fit in, so I think that's a definite pro. Now, as you can see, this is his true office. I did go into the unlocked category and I just sort of placed everything that you get with a criminal career that looked a little bit modern. There are some things that look very classic that just wouldn't have fit the vibe. But I also gave him that little mini Zen garden. I gave the blueprint, which I think came with the business career randomly, and a few other things. I'm imagining that the poster above his monitor is a second monitor that's just on the wall like a digital display. And I give him this whiteboard that I'm thinking he uses to strategize. So it is a small space, but I think he uses the space well. I could be like projecting, but I truly do think that for what he has, he's maximized what he's got. Then we jump into the kitchen here, and this is where we're gonna start seeing more of those orangey wood tones. This is a lot lighter than what you see in the bedroom and that dresser, but it still works. I did replace the oven. I used the Dream Home Decorator because I wanted that gas range stovetop, but I didn't want like the traditional back of a stove. And I'm having routing issues with this. It's just being really finicky. So I do replace it. I give him the one from Jungle Adventures, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And that one works just fine. I don't have any routing issues with that one. I know there's not a true routing issue because there's nothing in front of it. I think it's just the cabinet. It's not clipping correctly or something. I don't know. I couldn't be bothered to figure it out. So I just replaced it. I then jump into cluttering up the kitchen. As you can see, I do place the shelf above the stove and I add a few utensils and ingredients and things like that. I also, you may notice, have mixed countertops and cabinets. I prefer doing that. I honestly get a little bit uncomfortable when I use the same uppers and lowers from certain packs. Like the uppers that match the base counters here don't match. Not really. Not enough to satisfy me. So I always switch them up. And there's a few packs where I don't really do that, but I like the way that this looks. I like that the uppers are a little bit more sleek and the lowers are a little bit more rustic. It's a vibe, you know? It's just a vibe. And I briefly thought about placing some clutter on top of the refrigerator. I decided to just hang these pots and pans and call it a day because I didn't want it to look overly cluttered. And then we jump into the sort of dining section. I say sort of because I place it into the wall, or like, you know, place it up against the wall here. And there's only two bar stools. So he's not entertaining here a whole lot. At most, he has one other guest. And I decided it was fine because, like I said, I don't think he's here a lot. And he probably doesn't have a ton of personal relationships. They're probably all professional. I did have an issue with clipping here, and you saw it in the bathroom as well. I don't really know what's up with that. That's not something I always experience in this unit. So it could have just been related to the cheats or something. I have no idea, but that kind of limited me and what kind of decorations I could choose, which is fine. I mean, it all worked out in the end. I'm happy with how it turned out, but I was confused for a good while. You'll notice I am sizing down the lights that came with the Industrial Loft Kit. I wanted to use them, but they're way too big. They're way, way too big. So I did size them down by one, I believe, maybe two at most. And it just felt a little less overwhelming. I then start on the living room here, and you'll notice I use this wall light. I've seen it floating around Twitter. People are rediscovering it. I'm one of them. And I wanted to use it. I love a good wall light, and I always forget that this one exists. So I was thrilled to be able to place it and have it make sense in a space, I suppose you could say. I do use the coffee table as a console table rather than as a coffee table just because it is a smaller living room, and I felt like it made more sense in this particular situation. And then I just sort of finished fleshing out the living room. So I'm going to leave you guys here. As always, feel free to leave a like or a comment down below letting me know what you think. You can also subscribe if that's something that would spark joy for you. I will be posting the screenshots on Instagram if you want to head over there and check those out. I will see you on Saturday with my next video, and in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely rest of your week. Bye, guys.
I've heard a story, I've heard it said, I've come to believe that love is a bet. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and sometimes it calls you right in the move. Come to my table, come to my bed, go eat